Assalamu alaikum. It's good to see you. How are you? So, I am back with another new topic that I am actually going to cover today is the public transport. Okay, so without any further, now let's get started our question answer session. All right, the topic that I am actually going to talk about is I already mentioned that public transport. Okay, the first question that I am actually going to answer is what kinds of public transport do you have in your country? All right, so mostly there are a couple of public transports, but among them, which is the most popular and famous in my country, that is bus. Why? Because it is so much convenient for everyone, for irrespective of their earning sources. It is too much easier to get into anywhere with the help of these vehicles. And yes, I most of the time actually try to use that. However, in fact, I actually have my own personal transport, but I always try to actually go for the public transport, which is a bit time efficient. At the same time, I would like to actually contribute to the green energy or sustainable energy. Why? Because just think about, if I would like to actually go somewhere, if I have two options, either I may actually use my own vehicles for going there, or the other option is I can actually utilize the public transport. So yes, there is a high risk as well in terms of actually taking my own vehicles, because I will have a big tension or tense in my head. Why? Because just think about, I have actually gone somewhere which is unknown to me if I actually keep or park my vehicles. So yes, I will actually it is actually common, right, for most of the owner, right? So if I actually keep my vehicles over there, will it be okay, or should I actually face any kind of a problem, or or there are many issues as well, and there are maybe thief, right, and or robbery, right? Yes, but in terms of actually public transport, it is quite safe, okay, because there will be many types of people will be there, number one. Number two, whenever I am not actually using, or I am actually refraining of using my own transport, it means that yes, there will be less traffic congestion, right? So if we actually think like this way, so we will definitely be able to actually encounter this, because of having too much vehicles on the road, so we are actually facing so much problems related to traffic congestion, right? So yes, it could be actually minimized by thinking like this way. And for that reason, yes, I always prefer for actually going anywhere with the help of public transport, which is bus. All right, now the next question is what kinds of public transport do most people use? I already answered a bit now. As I told you, there are loads of public transport we actually have. Either it may be the bus or train. At the same time, there are many vehicles which are called actually CNG. Not rickshaw, CNG, yes, a bit mini transport. Okay, so yeah, and among them, the most popular one is the bus, because just think about, if we would like to actually go anywhere and we may not actually find the road for the railway. Okay, so how will the train actually go over there, right, if there there is no path, or I'm sorry, line for the train. So yes, it would be a bit tough, right? But when it comes to the bus, yes, we have lots of roads, and in fact, wherever we are actually going to think we can actually go there very very easily with the help of this public transport. For this reason, the utmost priority is for actually bus. Okay. All right. The next question is, what is your favorite type of public transport? I already answered that question. That yes, I really love to actually travel with the help of bus. And yes, in fact, what really actually bugs me, or what the main hitch is, there are lots of vehicles which are like unfit for the street. Okay, resulting into, we actually see there are lots of road accident due to actually the vehicles, the capacity, the power, the fitness of the vehicles is so low that we will not even actually think about of going anywhere with the help of these vehicles, right? These kind of problems we actually face, right? So for that reason, sorry, for that reason, at times people actually do not want to use this kind of public transport. However, if the if the drivers have their authentic license and they can actually drive the vehicles properly, number one, and number two, if they can actually make sure that their vehicles is in fitness, yes, these are the two things I reckon that everyone should actually maintain. And if they can actually maintain this, yes, it is 100% possible to actually get the people back from their personal vehicles to the public vehicles. Yes, yes, because of this, because of having only this one problem, people always try to actually circumvent or avoid these kind of things. All right, so I hope you actually got this point very very clearly. All right, now the next question is, what do you do when you are traveling on public transport? Okay, so it's a bit tricky, and at the same time, for example, it actually depends on the journey as well, distance, I mean. Okay, for example, if I am actually going somewhere and it would take probably 30 minutes. Okay, so by this time, what I actually do is I listen some podcast either, or I actually try to listen something. Okay, in terms of, because why do I actually prefer listening? Because I would love to actually enjoy my journey as well. So I am just actually keeping my earpods, and at the same time I am just actually looking. I always prefer to actually sit beside the window, and I don't know why, because I love that place so much. Okay, so while I actually sit beside the window, so I what I actually do is I just keep my earpods in my ears, and I actually play something, and it may be podcast. And if I'm not actually in good mood or something like that, yes, I may actually listen either song or any other, or Quran, okay, Quran recitation or anything. That means I always go for the listening on that moment. Okay, yes, number one, and or for example, if I have some task, I always try to actually do the task on that very moment as well. Okay, so as I told you, it depends on my urgency, on my needs as well. Okay, so that's what I actually do. Okay, and in fact, for example, if I don't have the earpods or the mobile phone, or I have the mobile phone but it is actually running out of the charge. Okay, so on that moment, yes, I will not be able to actually use that mobile phone. On that case, I actually try to just imagine that I try to actually imagine about my life, about my real condition, real life scenario and what might be and what mistake that I actually made. And yes, I always try to be very very silent, okay, and we just call it detox because it actually helps me and not actually helped me as well many times to actually think about the life again, okay. Yes, for that reason I always actually go for that. And yes, for example, I have already done this, but I have still a time. So on that moment, what do I actually do? So I actually try to. I always actually keep some of the plans, some of the lists, some of the ideas in the page, and which always actually keep which is actually kept always in my pocket, okay. So I actually just is extract them from my pocket and just actually go through because our brain is actually is what should I actually say is a thing which has which has a tendency to actually forget, okay. So whatever we actually planned previously, so yes, there is a high chance that we actually miss that, okay. So for that reason we need to actually sorry, we need to actually rethink, we need to actually remind our mind about our plan that we actually made, okay. Because this is the general tendency of our brain that he cannot actually retain the information easily, and there is a high chance that we may actually forget, okay. And if anyone actually if anyone does not actually forget, that means either he is genius or he is fool, okay. And yes, there is a talk I actually have heard, but I'm not sure about it. But I am actually requesting you guys, if you're actually aware of that, please do let me know that is it true or false. Okay, which one I am actually going to say is all right. Those who are actually mad and we actually most of the time encounter on the street. Okay, so they are and we actually call them fool, right? Fool. And one of the things that actually have heard that they had something in their brain and which they are not being able to actually forget. For that reason they are fool. I actually have heard that, but I'm not actually sure about it. And in fact, probably it's true because as I told you earlier that our brain has the tendency to actually forget the information, right? Okay, as soon as we actually just remind our mind, we actually forget that, right? Yes. So those who actually fall, those who actually roam on the street, okay, so they probably actually had some incident in their life which actually occurred, so they are not being able to actually forget that, okay. For the reason they are walking around the roads, okay, and they're wandering, all right. So yes, probably this is the ultimate result of actually not forgetting. Anyway, so I might be wrong. However, just I as I actually heard that, I thought I should actually share that with you as well. That's why I actually thought I actually share with you guys, okay. All right. Now the next question is, how could public transport in your country be improved? Okay, I already discussed about it. Okay, number one, we need to actually make sure that everyone has the authentic driving license. Number one, we need to actually make sure that because sorry, there are many drivers or shoppers who can actually drive the vehicles. Anyone can actually drive, but the main hit is most of the drivers does not have their own license. And even if they have the license, these are most of the time fraud. Okay, they actually seek for fraudulent way. All right, so this is the main problem. Okay, so what I am actually trying to tell you is, by ensuring or making sure that everyone has authentic driving license, number one. Number two, the vehicles has to be the fitness. If these any certain vehicles is out of the fitness, we need to actually make sure that these vehicles should be actually kept in the garage or something, or we need to actually dump this. Okay, we will not be able to actually use that vehicles anymore. Okay, that's what we need to actually make sure for the time being. Okay, and number three, everyone will have to follow the rules and regulation as per sorry, as per the requirements, which is actually clearly mentioned in the documents, in the road sign and everything. We need to actually go through this, and most importantly, we, the passenger, or commuters, okay, commuters or passengers, we will have to be aware. By doing all of those things, I am sure that we will get a good transport facility that we are always thinking of. Okay, all right, so that's what about this topic. Now I am actually going to talk about the next topic, which is related to season. Okay, so the first thing, what is your favorite season? Well, so if I would like to actually say my favorite season, it is actually varied so much. But recently, what I actually encountered is, when I was in my university, or in my school, on that moment, I always love to actually spend my time. Most of the time, I enjoy doing some of the things which I am actually thinking of. This is in the winter season, either, or the rainy season. And because it was so much easy, because on that moment when in my student life, so I didn't have that kind of a responsibility, or I didn't have that kind of think about my life, right? So I always actually opted for that. Okay, so when it comes to this moment, at this very stage right now I am actually in, so it actually makes sure that yes, uh, yes, we need to actually do something, and we need to actually, for doing all of those things, we need to actually work. Okay, and there is a quotation that I would like to actually share, that is, morning shows the day. All right, so if I actually wake up and if I actually see that the weather is a bit gloomy, right, so it actually feels me a bit down in the dumps. Okay, because I'm feeling lazy or something like that. Okay, so when it comes to actually, for example, I actually wake up and I am actually looking around. Oh wow, everything is actually shining, right? So it actually compels, it actually motivates me to actually do something better. Okay, for that reason, the utmost priority is given to the season in terms of actually working or doing everything that is summer. I love that so much. Okay, because on that very season I can actually do whatever I actually want. Okay, but in terms of actually just for time passing, I love winter season. Rainy season, yes, I actually love, but if you don't have the proper roads on that moment, it's a bit tough for me. But I actually love the summer so much. Yes, I used to actually love the winter for just making fun, or sleeping, something like that. Okay, but when it comes to actually my development, or about the life, okay, that I am actually thinking of, and yes, I always go for the summer, that's for sure. All right, now the next question that I'm actually going to talk about is, tell me about the different seasons in your country. Oh, well, that's a good question, should I actually say or not? But I need to actually say one thing, that is, uh, we had actually 6 seasons in our country. Among them, right now we already encountering the 3 season, but the season that we are actually encountering, these are not actually enough for us, because uh, as long as the season should be actually lasted, but we are not actually getting this. Just think about, we are in January right now. There should be many colds, right? But we are not actually getting, or we are not actually utilizing that, right? Already, it's actually providing us, or it's actually making us understand that it's already has been summer, probably more or less, right? So that means, I'm sorry, due to the climate changes, we actually lost our season number one. And the season which we actually have right now, these are like not suitable for us. The times which was supposed to be in winter, we are not getting the winter season on that very specific time. The time which it was supposed to be summer, we are not getting this time as a summer. That's how we are actually going on, and this is the ultimate reason of being these kind of things is climate change. Okay, so for that reason, the global organization and the globally the people is actually concerning about these issues related to climate. They're actually thinking of doing or recover things as well. Okay, so yes, these are like that, means we have right now 3 different types of seasons. Number one, summer, winter, and rainy. Okay, but we are also not getting these 3 seasons properly, let alone the others. Okay, all right. Now the next question is, how do the clothes people wear in your country change with the season? Well, so it's a good question, I must say, because it actually depends on the season. People actually wear or put on their different types of outwear, right? Outfit or dresses. For example, when it is in summer, people actually go for the light thickness uh, clothes, and mostly they actually prefer for white colors, as I already own today, right? Anyway, so it was not actually planned. Unfortunately, it actually matched with that question. However, let me actually clarify something. So as I told you that in summer, people actually go for wearing or put on the light clothes. Number one, okay, light clothes. Okay, why? Because just think about like this way, that there is a sun and it is actually radiating, right? Whenever the ray is actually coming towards us, if we actually wear the light, okay, for example, it may be white color. White color is the best. So whenever it actually reflects here, so white color has a capacity to actually pass the heat. Okay, pass. Okay, that means the white color reflects. Okay, there is a characteristics. Okay, so whenever the ray is actually coming, this white color actually reflects, resulting into I will not actually get that much heat that I was supposed to wear. Okay, but if I actually wear the black one in summer season, there is a characteristics of the black color is he always try to actually absorb the heat. Okay, so for example, I have actually worn black t-shirt or shirt in the summer, so I will actually experience more heat. All right, why? Because I have already worn black. The ray is actually coming, and as I was supposed to actually experience without this shirt or t-shirt, if I actually wear the black one, so it will actually absorb more light from the sun, right? Resulting into I will actually experience too much heat. Number one, okay. So for that reason, it is actually said by the people, by the scientists as well, that we need to actually wear the light types of clothes in summer. For what? The reason is for saving us from the relentless heat. Understood? Okay. When it comes to the winter, we may actually wear as many color as we want. Okay. However, since in the winter season we actually feel so much cold, so the black one would be the best. Why? Because we actually want to take more the sunlight so that we actually be a bit warm, right? Okay, for that reason, the utmost priority or ultimate priority will be the black one in the winter season. I hope you got my point. All right, now let's move on our next season, which is rainy, right? So in this season we always actually go for a bit thick clothes, because there are too much windy and windy air, right? And at the same time we may actually feel cold as well, right? A bit. So for the reason, yes, we actually wear, based on this kind of season, we actually wear these kind of things. Understood? All right, now let's move on our next question. That is, okay. Do any types of jobs people do in your country change with the season? Okay. Uh, it's a bit tough because I have never actually thought about it in this way, as I am actually thinking right now, because I have never ever actually thought about it. Anyway, so as the question actually say that, do any types of jobs people do in your country change with the season? Okay. Uh, I need to say yes. Yes. Let's say we have our uncle, one of our uncles, who actually sells in every winter. He actually sells two things. One is the clothes, the jackets, sweater. Okay, and these are the things his bread and butter for winter season specifically. And another thing he actually does is he actually sells different types of pita, okay, or cake. Or all right. So because we have lots of pitas like bapa pita and pati shamta. There are lots of, right, and and not only that, there is another one which is called mua. I actually don't know. I need to actually go for that as well. What's the specific name of this in English? Okay, and yeah, these are the business. Okay, I forgot. And he has another business, that is jogari. Okay, so this is the only season which he actually sustained for only this season. Okay, and yeah, and he is the only one I actually have ever seen that he does this. But when it comes to any other season, and except this winter, he has a shop, and where he actually it's a restaurant. He actually maintains the, okay, with this. So yeah, I can actually say yes, he has a seasonal business. I love that as well. Anyway, now let's move on our next question. That is, sorry, is tourism popular in your in a particular season in your country, of course, we actually encounter lots of tourisms, either in the winter or the summer. Okay, because most of the times, the people actually love to actually visit anywhere in the winter season. It's a bit, I think, ideal time for going anywhere, for visiting anywhere, because wherever we are actually going and whatever we are actually doing, we are not actually sweating. This is the number one, because just think about, if I actually go anywhere and the it is like a rainy or sunny season. So on that moment, yes, if it is actually rainy, so we need to actually have the umbrella or the waterproof waterproof jackets or something like that. Okay, so it's a bit a hassle as well. Okay, so we at times cannot the we actually cannot get the real flavor of the very environment, right? So when it comes to winter, yes, we don't need to actually think about all of those things, so you may actually go wherever we actually want. Okay, so but no matter if we actually even run and we actually walk, we will not actually sweat, and which is a good sign, okay, of traveling in the winter, number one. And in the summer, yes, it's also okay, but only one reason, if anyone actually sacrifice that, so I think it would also be okay for them, because just think about, if you actually just sacrifice one of the things, that is, you may actually sweat due to the temperature, right? So if you can actually ultimately sacrifice that, I reckon that the summer is the best, okay, best season to actually go for any other tourism. But in my country, we actually most of the time experience lots of sorry, tourists who actually came in our country either in the winter or the summer. Okay, summer season. Okay, these are the two seasons that we actually encounter lots of tourists. Okay, but very few tourists actually are as so much interested as coming or visiting anywhere in rainy season. Okay, that's what I can actually say. All right, now let's move on our next question, that is okay, what's that question? Okay, what season or weather do you think the most suitable for work or study? Okay, so I always go for the winter in terms of actually working and study, because just think about, for studying we need to actually we need to actually have that, we will have to have our deep focus, right? So compared to the natural environment, if the season is in a bit low temperature, okay, so it's a bit helpful for the people, or because they are not actually think about the fan or something like that. Okay, just they can actually concentrate. What they actually need is, they need to actually just turn on the fan, turn on the light. Okay, so at times in summer season, they are to actually just turn on the fan, there is a sound or noise, right? Not only that, and there may be the issue of the electricity, right? And the temperature is so high as well. So for that reason, yes, the ideal season for actually working, or it may be working or studying. Okay, so I will actually go for the winter season. Okay, so this is the reason why I actually like the yes. Okay, so before actually concluding this answer, let me let me actually mention another thing as well. Okay, as I told you that we need to actually have just only the light or lamp, right? and we don't require actually any kind of fan or AC. Okay, so if we actually think about from my perspective, from my village, from my region, most of the people actually cannot afford the AC, right? So the the fan, whenever in winter we will not actually use this fan, right? So it is also be in standby position, right? So just what we need to actually do is we need to just actually go through the books or the task or any kind of whatever it is. Okay, so we may actually focus deeply over there. We are not to actually think about so much. Okay, so for that reason I actually go for the winter season in terms of working or studying. Okay, that's what I can actually say. All right, now let's move on our next question. Sorry, next topic, that is sports. Okay, all right. The first question: do you play any sports? Honestly, or to be totally upfront with you, I used to actually play football, but over the last couple of years I was not actually get involved with any kind of activities. uh, yes, I need to actually work on that, but because of the time, because of not having the proper the connection that I actually had with my peers, because everyone is actually involved with their life. Okay, so they are actually doing either they are actually studying, either they are actually doing jobs, or some of the classmates actually moved to the abroad. Okay, okay, for that reason, yes, or even we have the classmates but we don't have actually time, right? And I am actually free, probably my friends are not free, and they are free on the moment I am not free. Yes, because of all of those things I am not being able to actually get any kind of issues to actually do this, or sorry, play the sports. However, I at times actually play indoor games with my cousins, and yeah, at times it's very rare. Either it may be TikTok too, or it may be making something with the help of 10 gram, or it may be carom, it may be yeah, these are the things probably I actually do in my free time. Yeah. All right. Now let's move on our next question. That is, do you watch sports on TV? Yes, I actually watch. I am like seasonal. I actually do not watch on sports on TV. When it comes to only World Cup football, especially on that moment, I actually watch the football match. Otherwise, I do not watch any kind of sports. Okay, all right. So that means you can actually say every World Cup season. Sorry, I actually love to watch sports on TV. It may be TV or YouTube or in the projector as well. But you can actually say that yes, I am like only World Cup game lover. I actually look that kind of sports, and only it has to be soccer or football, not any other sports. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me actually say before I forget. I at times watch the Olympics as well, Olympic Games. Okay, it depends on my mood as well. Anyway, now let's move on our next topic, which is, what is the most popular sports in your country? I would have to say yes. There are a couple of sports which are widely widely famous in my own country. Among them, the football and the cricket. These are the two sports that most of the people actually play, number one, and most of the people actually like as well, and most of the people actually enjoy this as well, and most of the people actually do some of the gambling as well. That means we have everything based on these only two sports, okay? But if I would like to actually make a just a demarcation line between these two, that means which one is a bit partial or people love to actually watch, that is obviously the sports, which is football or soccer. Anyway, now let's move on our next question, that is, how do people in your country stay fit? Okay, they actually fit by doing their day-to-day task, number one, and the people of my country actually work hard as well, okay, resulting into they're not to actually go anywhere for doing some of the task or something like that, or doing gym or anything, number one. And number two, that is, the people of my country, uh, they are genuinely good at playing any kind of sports, okay, and these other things. And recently people are actually getting so much involved with their work and everything. For that reason, we actually experience there are loads of gym center uh, is actually cropping up again and again, right? Which proves that yes, since the gym center is actually increasing, the number of people are also getting involved with that. They are also increasing, right? They are already knowing the science behind this, okay? So yes, we can actually say that either they are doing their own task, number one, or they are actually taking care of their health with the help of the gym center, or there are certain level of people who are actually thinking of doing some physical activities. Either it may be a marathon, it may be a sprinter, it may be cycling, it may be walking, running, whatever, okay? So by doing all of those things, people are actually getting fit, okay, or playing as well. Okay, so these are the couple of things I reckon that people actually maintain. For that reason, they are actually fit. All right. Now let's move on to our next topic. Next question, not topic, which is it important for children to play sports? Of course, because when they are actually in child, their brain is like novice, and whenever they are actually doing something, and whenever they are actually doing physical activity, the power of the brain actually increased, enhanced with the help of this kind of physical activities. And yes, the parents should allow the children to actually get as much as possible to any kind of sports, okay? And in fact, they need to actually make sure that they are not actually staying for a long time behind the computer, okay? Rather, they should actually encourage from the family and the schools as well, that they should actually do something which is related to physical activities. Yes, that is the most important thing or essential thing. I reckon that everyone should actually utilize that, because yes, if we actually think about our life, we actually didn't get that kind of information, or that kind of things that our parents actually didn't realize that. But eventually, we actually did all of those things, right? But nowadays, it's too much concerning as well. We actually, the parents are so much conscious or aware that they can't actually go their children anywhere, because yes, which is so much risky. At the same time, we need to actually make sure that for their development, they should be involved in different types of physical activities. All right. So yes, I will highly recommend uh, to actually the parents for sending or for allowing their child to be in any kind of sports. Understood that? All right. The next question is, was that okay? All right. What sports do children normally do at school? Okay, so there are many things the children actually do in their schools. Among them, they actually do something like running, and they actually play football, and they actually play different types of chair games, and they usually just randomly hide and seek. There are lots of things. There are lots of sports they actually do in their schools. Okay, and recently there are many private schools who are literally thinking of their development. For that reason, they are actually introducing new things in their institution, which is really praiseworthy, and I really respect them, and I salute them as well because of all of those things. Anyway, now let's move on our next question. That's, do you think people do enough sports these days? I would have to say with regretfully that no, people are actually getting too much involved with their actual work. They are not even actually think of their physical activities, resulting into we are actually being so much bored. Number one, we are actually losing our moral values, we are actually losing our focus, we are actually not enjoying our life, we are being alone. There are loads of, we are being frustrated, we are actually becoming so much agitated day by day. There are lots of things actually happenings, and there are we are actually becoming so much hungry for earning money. Yes, for that reason, because no matter how much money you are actually making, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you will actually see, whenever you will actually go through your days, you will see that, oh my goodness, whatever you actually earn, you already spend all of that. Not only that, you rather encounter that you already took many of the loans as well. So yes, and because of engrossing so much with their work, with their study, people actually forget about doing their physical activities, I myself included as well. Okay, so yes, we need to actually come out from that, because yes, we need to actually earn a certain level of money, but however, we need to actually make sure that our mental satisfaction, it is the number one and the most important thing or essential thing for us, because there are lots of people we actually see that who has literally everything, and in fact they don't have any lacking of the money, however they are still not happy. That kind of many people I actually saw, right? So yes, the ultimate happy lies on happiness. If sorry, my mistake. Anyway, so I was actually supposed to say you is the ultimate happy lies on mental satisfaction. If I am actually satisfied enough with whatever I actually have and whatever I am actually thinking of, if we can actually do all of those things, yes, we can actually say that yes, we are now a happy men or happy women or happy person. Understood that? All right, now let's move on our next topic. All right, which is the internet. Oh my goodness. All right, do you use internet? I probably told many times that internet is like oxygen for us nowadays. Okay, because no one can actually think of their a single day, a single moment, not even day. Okay, not a single moment without the help of internet, because everything is in internet nowadays mostly. Okay, and yes, we are so much engaged with that technology that we will not actually think of staying away from this. And if we actually think of staying away from this, we will literally be backdated, that's for sure. So yes, in the internet there are loads of things, and it's like an ocean. Okay, so there are loads of things, good deeds, bad deeds. So it will depends on you. Okay, so whichever you will actually find, you will have that kind of options to actually opt from there. Okay, but we need to also make sure that because of overusing the internet, we are also deteriorating our capacity of the brains. Okay, so that's for sure. We need to actually make sure that we are doing whatever we are actually thinking of, but we need to actually make sure that we will have to actually use our brain as well, no matter how much or how many times we are actually using the internet. We need to actually think about with the help of our own brain as well. Yes, you can actually use or utilize this internet as your assistant. Okay, so yes, I try to actually do that. At times we actually I actually couldn't maintain this as well. Okay, so yes, but we need to actually think twice as well, because the way the world is actually moving faster, moving forward, we are in great risk. I actually even don't know what is actually going to happen in future and what may be the situation or circumstances. Okay, so for that reason I am at so much stuck. Okay, I will have to actually say it, and I actually in fact don't fear of talking like this, because everything is being irrelevant. Whatever I am actually learning today, after certain time I will actually experience it. What's the point of actually learning that? It is already been backdated. Okay, so it is so much important. Okay, for that reason we need to actually work on the future perspective jobs, and as well, whatever we are actually thinking today, it may actually not sustain in the long run. Okay, so down the road, so we may actually face lots of difficulties. Okay, but let's see what actually is waiting for us. We will have to actually encounter that together as well. Anyway, the next question is, are children allowed to use internet at a school in your country? No, not at all. In my own school, sorry, in my own country, the schools, they actually in fact uh, restrict the use of the mobile phone, not mobile phone, the internet, to the young stars, that means the learners. Why? Because there are loads of side effects, because they actually even don't know what the real internet is. There is a high chance that because of they might actually think that they should actually do this instead of doing, or instead of uh, knowing better, they may actually get into the bad deeds. Okay, as I already told you that internet has many things. That means it's like a hub. Whatever you will actually require, you will just take from there. It's like a super shop, right? So whatever you need, you will find everything from there, right? Just you need to actually find out. That's what. So the students or the learners who study in a school, they are not actually mature enough to identify or distinguish which will be ultimately good for them and which won't. Okay, so yes, that is why that means the guardian along with the teachers always discourage the students not to use the mobile phone in terms of studying in school. That's what they always go for, and which is true. Okay, and but we need to actually, in this year, we need to actually make sure another thing as well. Yes, we can actually provide the internet, but it has to be limited. And the place where he will have the internet access, it has to be in the center of the house, so that everyone can actually notice that. We will not be able to actually provide the computer or the mobile phone to his own, that means personal room. No, not at all. If even if you would like to actually make our son or children a bit better, so we can actually provide the internet, but it has to be in a good way, number one. And number two, as I told you, that it has to be in a position that everyone can actually watch that. What is he or she doing? We will actually know, and we will actually see at the same time. Sorry. That's how we can actually make sure that yes, everything is actually going smoothly. Understood that? Alright, now, so that is my actually ultimate my point of view I actually shared now. Anyway, so but in my country, people are, that means the students are not allowed to use internet who are actually studying in school. Alright, now the next question is, do you think that the internet is useful for study? Of course, without a doubt. For example, if I am not actually familiar with a topic, just I will just search that, and so compared to offline, so yes, I may actually go to the teachers only one or two, highest three, right? Because there is a financial issue as well, right? So that means I may actually go max three teachers to actually know about it, right? Okay, on the contrary or conversely, when it comes to internet, so the same topic, there are thousands of teachers available on the internet. So what I actually need to do is I just type that, and I actually just look at that, and if we actually learn something from there, so I will get lots of information from there. And let me tell you one thing as well. Whenever we are actually seeking information in offline on offline, so there is a high chance that the information that he is actually providing, there may be some are the correct, some are the wrong, because we are not actually recording. But when it comes to the online, each and every, most of the time, I can actually say that each and every students, or not students, the teachers, the video makers, make sure that they are making the perfect video for the viewers. Okay, and before making this kind of videos, they actually go through many videos as well, resulting into the information which we actually get from the internet. Yes, that we can actually say that yes, these are the most authentic one. Understood? Okay, so for that reason, I can actually say yes. I actually learned lots of things. I need to actually say, I need to actually thank to the internet. Because of having the internet, I actually learned. I have been able to actually learn so many things, lots of things that I reckon that if I actually have any kind of teachers in my offline, I actually couldn't do that. Okay, alright. Now let's move on our next question, that is, have you ever used the internet to buy something? Of course, with the help of the internet, that means online shopping, I actually did many times. In fact, recently I actually ordered sorry, I actually ordered some books for me, and probably I will get tomorrow. And yes, I love to actually do that, and everything is like in our hands, right? Whatever we are actually thinking of, we can actually do it very very easily. This is the power of internet. And yeah, I can say that yes, most of the time I actually use, and in fact I may have to actually use as well. The next question is, okay, so are there any dangers in buying things online? Of course. Oh my goodness. This is the biggest hitch, I think, for especially in my country, because in foreign country, the suppliers, they are like Amazon. They are from Amazon, and they are from different types of Alibaba giant company. They always make sure that everything is actually going smoothly. They actually always think about the profit for the customers, okay, resulting into whenever I am actually thinking of purchasing something, there is a high chance that I will not be actually frauded. But when it comes to my country, there are lots of scammers as well. Whenever you are actually ordering something, for example, I have heard one of the information probably from newspaper. One of the person, he actually ordered a cell phone instead of actually providing this. Okay, so which actually occurred on online. Okay, online. So instead of actually sending the mobile phone or cell phone, what have they actually sent is only the bar of the soup. Okay, so he was supposed to actually get the mobile phone, but he actually got the soup of bar. So yeah, these kind of things occurred many times as well. So for the reason, most of the times people actually do not prefer go for that online compared to offline. And number two, they are not actually aware of the clothes quality. At times we actually encounter or something which we actually see on the mobile phone or screen. It looks so good, right? So in real life we actually see with the help of our own eyes, the color is so dirty and nasty, right? So at times you will actually experience that whatever you are actually ordering, at times you may actually be a bit agitated. Okay, so yes, for that reason, this is the biggest hit, I think. So if anyone can actually fix all of those things, yes, right now it's already going to be changed a lot, and I hope that yes, it is actually going to be all right as well. So thank you so much, and I am going to actually conclude my video here, as I already said that I love to actually talk, and in fact this is the best way to actually improve the language or learning the language, because just think about, if you only memorize certain words, it will not actually help you a lot. Trust me, whenever you are actually going like this, you will just take the some question and answer. Okay, in terms of actually answering, you are to actually use lots of sentences and lots of things, lots of words. Okay, automatically it will actually compel your mind to bring it out. Okay, so for that reason, yes, this is the ultimate, I reckon that this is the ultimate idea of actually learning a language. For me, I'm not sure, I actually didn't study for that, but what I actually experienced after observing so many years, I finally got this is the only thing that can actually change anyone's level. So for that reason, I am already doing this, and in fact I wanted to actually make per day more than 1 hour's video, and at times I can, but at times I can't. Okay, and based on the mobile phone, the capacity of my mobile phone, I actually just going to conclude my video here, otherwise I would probably continue. Anyway, so I will see you in the next video. Okay, so for that reason, I am actually having to say goodbye. Thank you so much once again, and keep practicing. Bye bye.